In the Maha-Satipatthana Sutta, the first foundations of mindfulness is the contemplation of the body in the body, Kaya-nupassana. Buddha described it in 14 different ways. In other words, he taught 14 different topics for the contemplation of the body in the body. The first of these topics is Ānāpāna. Buddha said, Katincha Pana Bhikkhve Bhikkhu Kaye Kayanupasi Viharati Ida Bhikkhve Bhikkhu Arinya Katowa Rukhamula Katowa Sunyagara Katowa Nisi Tati Panlinga Abujitwa Ujong Kaya Panidaya Parimukha Sate Upatabitwa. Buddha said, Bhikkhus, how does a bhikkhu practitioner dwell contemplating the body in the body? Here, now bhikkhus, the bhikkhus having gone to the forest, to the foot of a tree, to a secluded place, sits down cross-legged, keeps his upper body erect, and directs his mindfulness to the objects of his meditation. Ever mindful, he breathes in. Ever mindful, he breathes out. So in this sutta, Buddha has shown 4 ways of breathing meditation. When you practice this meditation, you should perceive fully the long breaths, the short breaths, the duration of the breath, the subtle, almost imperceptible breaths. 4 ways of breathing meditation. And Buddha said, Pasampayang Kaya Singharam, calming the gross in breath. I shall breathe in. Thus he makes efforts, calming the gross of breath. I shall breathe out. Thus he makes efforts. In this passage, the breath is called body conditioned things. The Pali word for body conditioned things is Kaya Sinkhara. Kaya means body, Sinkhara means conditioned. So it means things conditioned by the body. It is said that breath is caused by consciousness, or breath is caused by the mind. But when there is no body, there cannot be any breath. So, breath is caused by the mind. The breath depends on the body for its arising, that is, for its appearance. So, breath is called kaya sankhara, things conditioned by the body. Calming the gross in breath should not be taken to mean that meditators should intentionally come down, inhibit, and stay your breath. What is meant is that when breath becomes very subtle, you must try hard, pay attention, and apply more effort to discern it. The breath is not like the other objects of meditation, which become clearer and clearer with the increase in concentration and understanding. When you progress further and further, the objects like kasina, earth discs, or other meditation objects become clearer and clearer in your mind. It is not the same with the breath, which becomes subtler and more difficult to perceive according to your progress. When you are not meditating, your mind and body are not restful. Your breaths, which depend on the condition of your mind and body, will then arise in gross form. But when you continue to meditate, your mind and body become rested and tranquil, and your breath becomes subtle. The more you progress towards the achievement of concentration, the subtler your breaths become, so much so that you have to investigate whether they exist or not. They may become so subtle that at one point you will doubt whether they are there at all. Since you do not find anything to perceive, you may think the breath is simply lost. At such a time, you should say to yourself, you should encourage yourself, I am not dead. I have not drowned. I am still alive, but I cannot perceive the breath because they are too subtle and my concentration and understanding are not keen and developed enough. So I must develop them more. I must pay more attention to the meditation object. I must try to perceive these subtle breaths. So when you continue with your efforts and gain more understanding, you will be able to perceive the breaths however subtle they may be. When in the course of meditation, the breaths become imperceptible, do not give up your meditation. You must encourage and exert yourself to perceive the subtle breaths until they become clear to you again. That is what is meant by calming the gross in breath. You must increase your effort. So in this Maha-Satipatthana Sutta, Buddha has shown 4 ways of breathing meditation. Thus, you have now 4 ways of breathing mindfully. First, when breathing in with a long breath, you must know that you are breathing it with a long breath. Second, you must note when you are breathing out with a long breath. Third, you note when you are breathing in with short breath. Fourth, you must note when you are breathing out with a short breath. These are the 4 rules of breathing mindfully. And Buddha gave a simile so that the practitioner could understand this teaching more clearly. When Buddha said, Teko bama karawa bama karande wasiwa digawa inchando. Diga inchami dipa janati. As a skillful operator of a lathe and his apprentice are making a long turn, making a long turn means when making something big like a drum, operators have to make a long turn on the lathe. When making a short turn means when making something small, such as ivory needles, operators have to make short turns in the lathe. Making these turns, practitioners should be aware of what turn is being made. And Buddha said, Iti ijatawa kaya kayanupasi viharati. Thus he dwells contemplating the body in the body, internally or externally or both, internally and externally. What is meant by contemplating internally? It means that meditators contemplate or meditators keep yourself mindful of your own in-breaths and out-breaths. When you keep your mind on your own breathing, meditators are said to be contemplating the body in the body internally. And when you have gained some practice in keeping your mind on your own breaths, Occasionally, you may think of other people's breath as well. Just as my breaths have a beginning and end, appear and disappear, so do the breaths of other people. In this way, you contemplate on the breaths of other people. In doing this, you are said to be contemplating the body in the body externally. It does not mean that you look at other people and contemplate their breathing. However, when you happen to contemplate other people's breaths, you should be mindful of them. You should be mindful of them too. Sometimes you contemplate your own breathing and then the breathing of other people and then your own breathing again. You go back and forth between your breathing and that of others. When you do that, you are said to be contemplating the body in the body, internally and externally. It does not mean that you should look at your and other people's breathing. Samudaya Dhamma Nupasiva Kaya Same Viharati, Vaya Dhamma Nupasiva Kaya Same Viharati. He dwells contemplating the origination factors of the breath body, or he dwells contemplating the dissolution factors of the breath body, or he dwells contemplating both the origination and dissolution factors of the breath body. Here, origination factors. Origination factors means the factors that bring about the breath. The commentator explained it with a simile. When a blacksmith wants to produce fire, he uses the bellows. There are the bellows, and there is something at the end of the bellows which is called the spout. And there are the efforts of the blacksmith. Depending on these three things, air is produced to make fire with the bellows, the spout, and the efforts of the smith. In the same way, in order to produce breath, you need a physical body, the nasal aperture, and a mind. Depending on these three things, each breath is produced in the body. Without them, there can be no breath. Therefore, these three things are called origination factors of the breath. Samudaya Dhamma. When you are practicing meditation on the breath, sometimes the thought may come to you because there is a body, because there is a nasal aperture, and there is a mind, there is this breath. When you are contemplating this, you are said to contemplate on the origination factors of your breath. Dissolution factors. Dissolution factors mean the opposite. When there is no physical body, there can be no breath. When there is no nasal aperture, there can be no breath. And when there is no mind, there can be no breath. These three things, breaking up of the body, disruption of the nasal aperture, and the cessation of the mind to function, they are called the dissolution factors of the breath, Vayadhamma. So when you contemplate on these three factors, you are said to contemplate on the dissolution factors of the breath. And when you are contemplating on all six factors, you are said to contemplate on the both the origination and the dissolution factors of the breath. This should not be interpreted to mean that you should intentionally search for these origination and dissolution factors. What is meant is that when, during meditation, the thoughts of these factors should arise, you should just recognize the origination and dissolution of the breath. And the late most venerable Maha-Sayadaw has something to add. Venerable Maha-Sayadaw said that the observing of the arising and disappearing of the breath is also meant in this passage. The Pali words for origination factors is samudaya dhamma. It can mean factors by which something arises, but it can also mean the state or nature of arising or just arising. The same is true for dissolution factors. The Pali word for dissolution factors is Vayadhamma. Vayadhamma means factors by which something dissolves. It can also mean the state of dissolving or just dissolution. Therefore, in the most venerable Maha-Sayadaw opinion, meditators who closely observe the arising of breath, bit by bit, at every moment and at any place, such as the breath touching the tip of the nose, are said to be contemplating the samudaya dhamma of the breath, or the arising of the breath. Also, meditators who closely observe the disappearance bit by bit at every moment and at any place, such as the breath touching the tip of the nose, can be said to be contemplating the Vaya Dhamma of the breath, or can be said to be contemplating the dissolution of the breath. When you watch the breath, first you see the beginning of the breath, then the breath ends and you watch it disappear. When you watch closely, you observe the arising and disappearance of the breath. So it is more natural and probable that you will see the arising and disappearance of the breath than that you will see the factors of its arising and disappearing. However, you cannot rule out the seeing of the cause of its arising and disappearing during your meditation. So both explanations of this passage are applicable. So Buddha said he was contemplating the arising nature of the breath body, or he was contemplating the dissolving nature in the breath body, or he was contemplating both the arising and dissolving nature in the breath body. And Buddha said, Ānāpānasati picupatita hoti. Or his mindfulness is established as there is only the breath body. There are many usages in the word kaya in this sutta. You have to interpret the meaning according to its context. Here you have the sections of Ānāpāna breathing. So wherever you find the word kaya, body, you must understand that it means the breath body. So when practitioner keep yourself mindful of the breath, your mindfulness is established on there is only the breath body. When you keep your mind on the breath, you see nothing else but breath. There is only breath, no person, no being, no woman, no man, no individual, no I, nothing pertaining to the I, no soul, nothing pertaining to the soul. Ānāpānasati picupatita hoti. So can you follow me? There is only breath. there is only breath, no person, no being, no woman, no man, no individual, no I, nothing, no soul, nothing pertaining to the soul. There is only there is only breath, no person, no being, no woman, no man, no individual, no I, nothing pertaining to the I, no soul, nothing pertaining to the soul. So Buddha said, Ati kayoti panasa sati pichupatita hoti. So there is only breath, but no one who is regulating the breath or who is giving orders to the breath. Who creates the breath? Just the breath. In this way, your mindfulness is established. And Buddha said, Yawa Deva Jnana Mataya Pati Sati Mataya. Yawa Deva Jnana Mataya Pati Sati Mataya. Ānāpānasati Viharati. And that mindfulness is established to the extent necessary for further measure of knowledge and mindfulness. This means mindfulness that there is that breath body only is established for the purpose of further knowledge and mindfulness. When you practice breathing as vipassana meditation, you go from one stage to the other, from lower stage of knowledge to a higher stage of knowledge, and then to the highest knowledge. Your mindfulness is established to help you go on to the higher stage of knowledge and concentration. So when you don't see that there is only breath, but see this breath as being permanent or having a owner, a soul or a self, or any permanent entity, you will not be able to progress on the path of vipassana knowledge. So mindfulness that there is only the breath body is necessary for your development of your knowledge. Ānāpānasati Viharati Nacha Kenji Loge Upadiyati. Buddha said, not depending on anything, not attached to anything, through craving and wrong view, he dwells. When you keep your mind on the breath, watch it and come to see it as coming and going every moment, you cannot see anything to be attached to. The breath comes and goes. The breath is nothing to be attached to. It is just breath. When you reach the highest stage of vipassana knowledge, you will come to see the arising and disappearing of all phenomena. Both the mental and physical ones. You won't find anything to be attached to by way of craving or by ways of wrong views, tanha and ditthi. We are sometimes attached to for things. We are sometimes crave for things. We want something, we like something, and we are attached to it. Sometimes we have wrong views about these things. When you think that things are permanent, you have wrong views. You think that they will last forever, that they are lovely, or if it is a person, and you think that there is permanent entity or soul. When you hold such views, you are said to have wrong views. So, through wrong views and through craving, you become attached to things. However, when you come to see the true nature of the breath, as well as mind and body, you will not find anything to be attached to. You will not find anything to, to depend on. Nacha kenji loke upadiyati, nor does he cling to anything in the walls of the five aggregates of clinging. Five aggregates of clinging, that means five aggregates that are objects of clinging, five aggregates that are the objects of grasping. They are five aggregates of corporeality, rupa khanda, aggregates of feeling, vedana khanda, aggregates of perception, sanya khanda, aggregates of mental formation, sankhara khanda, and aggregates of consciousness, vijnana khanda. In brief, everything in the world belongs to one or the other of these five aggregates. Seeing the true nature of things, practitioners of vipassana meditation do not cling to anything in the world because there is no longer craving, let alone clinging to anything. Evam bhikkhā bhikkhave bhikkhu kāye kāya nupasi viharati, Buddha said. Thus two bhikkhus, a bhikkhu practitioner dwells contemplating the body in the body. This indicates that the teaching of breathing meditation have come to an end. Breathing meditation, Ānāpāna, can be practiced as samatha meditation or vipassana meditation. Samatha meditation means tranquility meditation. which leads to gaining good concentration or jhana. Vipassana meditation leads to eradication of mental defilements, kilesa. When you practice samatha meditation, you practice differently than when you practice vipassana meditation. When you practice samatha meditation on Ānāpāna, the breathing, keep your mind on the breath and count each breath. When you count, neither count below 5 or below 5 nor past 10. Counting is to be done from 1 to 5, 1 to 6, up to 1 to 10. Whatever is more appropriate for you, counting is to be done. For example, in 1, out 1, in 2, out 2, in 3, out 3, in 4, out 4, in 5, out 5, and then again in 1, out 1, etc. Or you may count up to 6, or you may count up to 10, 10. At first, you should count slowly. The purpose of counting is to help you in keeping your mind on the object. It can be compared to trying, it can be compared to tying the object with the rope. Once you gain concentration through counting and can stay with an object without distraction, you can give up counting and just keep yourself aware of the in-breath and the out-breath. First you count and then you practice what we call connecting or collecting the mind and the breath without counting. You just keep your awareness on the breath and it will become more and more subtle. Sometimes you may see Ānāpānasati. You may see signs of vision. Different vision come to different people. They are neither a definite number nor definite kinds of vision a person may see. If you ask 10 people, you may get 10 different answers. Different individuals have different inclination, disposition, perception. Therefore, their vision will be different. In the scripture, vision are described as appearing like stars. You may see them like stars. You may see the sign appear like a star or cluster of gems, cluster of pearls, or it may appear to have a rough touch like that of thick cotton seeds. or a peg made of hardwood, or a long braided string, or a wreath of flowers, or a puff of smoke, or a stretched out cobweb, or a cloud, or a lotus flowers, or a chariot wheel of, or the discs of the moon or the sun. Any of these signs of vision may come to meditators reaching a certain level of concentration, Ānāpānasati. They will then enter the absorption of jhanas, and from the jhanas can shift to vipassana meditation. If you are practicing pure vipassana, when you practice breathing as vipassana meditation, you do not count the breaths. You just keep your mindfulness on the breath and practice according to the 4 ways. Breathing long, breathing short, comprehending clearly the entire breath body, and calming the gross breath. You may not see signs or you may not see vision in vipassana meditation. However, if you see them, you just stay aware of them. You just note as seeing, and so on. After some time, you will see mind and body clearly, and you will progress more and more until you reach the stage of realization. In the Sutta, the emphasis is on vipassana and not samatha meditation, because contemplating the origination factors and dissolution factors is only possible in vipassana meditation. In samatha meditation, you do not contemplate on the arising or the disappearing of the objects. You just keep your mind on the objects, just that. So when it is said that you contemplate on the origination and the arising, or on the dissolution and the falling, you are neither attached to anything. You are neither attached to nor clinging to anything. This means vipassana and not samatha meditation. In this sutta, every object of meditation is directed towards vipassana. Although in the early stages, it can be samatha meditation. When you practice vipassana meditation, you keep your awareness on the breath and also everything that comes to you through the 6 sense doors at the present moment. When you see something, you become aware of seeing. When you hear something, you become aware of hearing. When you smelling, you become aware of smelling. When you think of something, or there are distraction or stray thoughts, you become aware of them also. So there is a difference between samatha meditation and vipassana meditation. In the samatha meditation, you keep your awareness only on the meditation object and ignore everything else. In the Vipassana meditation, you keep your awareness on everything that is present, everything that is prominent at the present moment. In the Sutta, you know each subject of meditation is directed towards Vipassana because at the end of each section you find the passage Samudaya Dhammanupasiva, Vaya Dhammanupasiva. It was contemplating the origination factors and dissolution factors. So this is the Ānāpāna breathing meditation. We have to stop our discourse for today by practicing Vipassana meditation, by observing every phenomena occurring at the six senses, by noting rising, falling, sitting, stretching, bending, seeing, hearing, etc. continuously and meticulously. May all yogis be liberated from all suffering. May all yogis realize the real peace in the very near future.